Speaking test instructions. The speaking test is 20 minutes. There are 8 tasks in the speaking test. Please try your best to answer all the questions.
Start speaking now. Time is up. 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 Start speaking now. Time is up.
Monica. Being asked to write a review that misrepresents your actual experience creates a genuine ethical conflict, especially when personal relationships complicate the situation. Nevertheless, this dilemma requires balancing compassion for your acquaintance against honesty and the integrity of online review systems. First and foremost, understand that online reviews exist to help potential customers make informed decisions based on authentic experiences. And writing dishonest positive reviews undermines this system while potentially misleading people into wasting money on mediocre experiences. Furthermore, if you write a glowing review that doesn't reflect your mediocre experience, you're essentially participating in deceptive marketing that prioritizes your acquaintances' financial interests over other consumers' right to accurate information. Additionally, review platforms have terms of service prohibiting fake reviews, and many jurisdictions have consumer protection laws making fraudulent reviews illegal, potentially exposing you to account suspension or legal consequences. Moreover, if multiple people write dishonestly positive reviews at the owner's request, customers arriving with high expectations based on false reviews will likely have negative experiences that lead to genuine negative reviews, ultimately harming the restaurant more than honest feedback would have. Although you sympathize with the financial struggles and want to help a mutual acquaintance, consider whether misleading reviews actually help them long-term or just delay addressing real problems with their restaurant. Consequently, I'd recommend either declining to write a review at all, explaining honestly that you don't feel comfortable writing reviews that don't reflect your genuine experience, or writing an honest review that acknowledges both positives and areas for improvement in constructive terms. Additionally, you might offer alternative support like spreading word-of-mouth recommendations to friends whose tastes might align better with what the restaurant offers, or providing private feedback to help improve the business. Despite the awkwardness of declining or being honest, maintaining your integrity and the reliability of your reviews serves everyone's long-term interests better than participating in deceptive marketing practices. 3 years ago, I made a terrible first impression on a senior director at my company during an interdepartmental meeting where I was representing my team. I had prepared inadequately for the meeting because I underestimated its importance. And when the director asked me specific questions about our team's project metrics and timelines, I fumbled through vague, uncertain responses. Furthermore, I became defensive when she pressed for details, and I made a dismissive comment about not having those numbers memorized that came across as unprofessional and cavalier about accountability. Additionally, I learned afterward that she had specifically requested me for this meeting because she was considering my team for a high visibility project, and my poor performance led her to question whether our team was competent enough for the responsibility. I realized the damage when my manager pulled me aside after the meeting to explain how badly I had represented our team and how this director now had serious concerns about our capabilities. Moreover, I knew this director served on committees that influenced promotion decisions, and creating a negative impression with her could affect my career advancement for years. To change her perception, I first sent a professional email apologizing for my unprepared presentation and requesting another opportunity to provide the information she had asked for, this time with comprehensive data and analysis. Additionally, I spent a week creating a detailed report addressing all her questions along with proactive insights about our project's strategic value, and I requested a brief follow-up meeting to present this information. During that second meeting, I was thoroughly prepared, professionally presented our work's value, acknowledged my previous inadequate performance, and demonstrated genuine understanding of the strategic context she cared about. Moreover, I made sure to consistently deliver high-quality work on any projects that intersected with her department, always being responsive and professional in our interactions. I also volunteered for a cross-functional task force she was leading, which gave me opportunities to demonstrate competence and work ethic over several months. The relationship gradually improved as she saw consistent evidence of capability and professionalism that contradicted the initial impression. About 18 months later, she actually recommended me for a leadership development program, indicating that she had moved past the poor first impression. This experience taught me that first impressions can be changed, but only through consistent demonstration of different qualities over time. Taking responsibility for mistakes rather than making excuses, and creating multiple opportunities to show your actual capabilities. This enchanting illustration depicts a vibrant outdoor cultural festival celebrating international heritage in a city park on a warm summer weekend, where diverse communities have gathered to share their traditional music, dance, crafts, and cuisine with the wider public. The festival grounds feature multiple pavilions decorated with colorful national flags and cultural banners, creating distinct zones representing different countries and regions. In the foreground, performers dressed in elaborate traditional costumes are executing a coordinated folk dance on a central wooden stage. Their embroidered garments featuring intricate patterns and flowing fabrics that swirl dramatically with each choreographed movement. Meanwhile, an appreciative audience seated on picnic blankets and folding chairs is clapping rhythmically to the live drumming accompaniment provided by musicians positioned at the stage's edge. On the right side of the scene, an impressive array of international food vendors has set up cooking stations under white canopy tents, with aromatic smoke rising from grills preparing dishes like tandoori chicken, jerk pork, and lamb kebabs, while customers queue patiently with paper plates to sample authentic recipes. Additionally, a henna artist is carefully applying intricate temporary designs to a young woman's hands at a craft demonstration booth surrounded by curious onlookers. The background reveals children participating in traditional games and activities including calligraphy demonstrations, origami folding workshops, and trying on cultural dress-up costumes for photo opportunities with their families. Furthermore, an artisan marketplace features hand-woven textiles, carved wooden sculptures, handmade pottery, and traditional musical instruments displayed for purchase, with vendors eager to explain the cultural significance behind each item. What makes this multicultural celebration particularly significant is how it promotes cross-cultural understanding and appreciation in increasingly diverse societies, allowing immigrant communities to proudly showcase their heritage while educating others, breaking down stereotypes, and fostering social cohesion through the universal languages of food, art, and music. Initially, the cultural dance troupe performing traditional folk dances will complete their captivating routine, whereas audience members seated on picnic blankets will applaud enthusiastically before exploring other festival attractions. Subsequently, families will venture toward the international food vendors offering tandoori chicken and jerk pork, while simultaneously, children might participate in hands-on workshops like calligraphy or origami. Meanwhile, musicians playing acoustic instruments on the main stage will presumably transition to different world music genres, and consequently, diverse cultural performances will showcase the community's rich multicultural heritage. Furthermore, as the afternoon progresses, attendees will likely browse the artisan market featuring handcrafted goods and traditional clothing from various countries. Despite the festival's impressive variety of activities, visitors will struggle to experience everything in one day. Nevertheless, The vibrant atmosphere will encourage return visits to future events. In addition, the henna artist will continue adorning customers with intricate temporary tattoos while explaining their cultural significance. In conclusion, this spectacular international festival will continue celebrating global diversity throughout the day, bringing together people from different backgrounds through shared appreciation of food, art, music, and dance, thereby fostering cross-cultural understanding and community cohesion. Raymond, I understand your preference for a charitable donation in our colleague's name. But I believe the luxury pen set represents the better gift choice for celebrating David's promotion. First and foremost, promotions to leadership positions are professional milestones that deserve tangible recognition the recipient can personally keep and use, serving as a lasting reminder of their achievement and our team's support. Furthermore, high-quality pens are traditional executive gifts specifically because they're used daily in professional settings, keeping the celebratory moment present each time David signs documents or takes notes in meetings with senior leadership. Additionally, luxury pen sets convey respect and acknowledgement of David's elevated professional status, signaling that we recognize his advancement and consider him worthy of premium professional accessories befitting his new role. Moreover, while David certainly values philanthropy, this celebration is specifically about his personal professional achievement, and giving him something tangible he can enjoy and use demonstrates that we're honoring him individually rather than using his occasion as a vehicle for charitable giving. Although some younger professionals might consider pens outdated, quality writing instruments remain valued by executives and leaders who sign important documents and appreciate craftsmanship and tradition. Consequently, the symbolic nature of pen gifts, representing the power to sign, approve, and make decisions, aligns perfectly with promotional celebrations marking someone's increased authority and responsibility. Despite the group experience option creating memories, it requires complex scheduling coordination and might not appeal to everyone's interests or availability. The charitable donation, while meaningful, essentially redirects what should be David's personal celebration toward causes he supports, which feels more appropriate for his birthday or other personal occasions rather than a professional promotion. Don't you think David deserves a tangible gift he can personally enjoy and that reminds him of this career milestone every time he uses it? Raymond, while I appreciate the traditional appeal of a luxury pen set, I strongly believe the group experience gift certificate represents the most meaningful and memorable choice for celebrating David's promotion. First and foremost, David's promotion to leadership means he'll now be managing many of us directly, and a shared group experience provides an opportunity for team bonding that will benefit everyone's working relationships as we transition to David's new leadership role. Furthermore, experiential gifts create lasting memories and strengthen relationships in ways that physical objects simply cannot replicate. Years from now, David will remember the afternoon our team spent together celebrating his achievement rather than wondering where he put that pen set. Additionally, group experiences demonstrate that we value David not just professionally but as a person we genuinely want to spend time with and celebrate alongside, which means more than any material gift regardless of its cost or quality. Moreover, pooling resources for a group experience allows us to provide something more substantial and memorable than individuals could afford separately, creating a truly special celebration rather than a standard corporate gift. Although scheduling coordination requires some effort, consider that making time for celebration together actually demonstrates how much we value both David in this milestone, whereas handing him a boxed gift feels perfunctory and transactional. Consequently, we can select flexible experience options like restaurant gift certificates, spa packages, or entertainment venues that accommodate David's schedule rather than requiring everyone to participate simultaneously. Despite the luxury pen seeming appropriate for executive recognition, many expensive pens end up in desk drawers while experience memories last forever. The charitable donation option, though meaningful, essentially makes David's promotion about causes rather than about him personally. Don't you think creating a memorable shared celebration that strengthens our team relationships is more valuable than giving another traditional executive gift? Hey Karen, I wanted to catch you privately because I need to talk with you about something important regarding parking in our building. First and foremost, I want you to know I'm coming to you as a concerned neighbor rather than trying to create problems for you. Nevertheless, I've noticed that you've been parking in ways that block emergency vehicle access fairly regularly. And I'm worried because the building manager has been documenting violations and is considering calling towing companies. Furthermore, several neighbors have been complaining about the parking situation in building meetings. And while they don't necessarily know your specific situation, there's growing pressure on management to enforce parking rules strictly. Additionally, I wanted to give you a heads up about this before any official action happens, because I know that towing fees are extremely expensive and would create financial hardship, especially given everything you're managing as a single parent. Moreover, I realize you might be parking illegally out of necessity because of limited parking availability, or because the legal spaces are taken when you arrive home late. And I'm not judging your reasons, although I understand that everyone faces parking challenges in our building. The specific concern is that blocking emergency access could prevent ambulances or fire trucks from reaching our building quickly in a genuine emergency, which could literally cost lives. Consequently, I'm hoping we can figure out solutions that work for your situation while addressing the safety concerns. Maybe requesting an assigned space from management, arranging car sharing with neighbors who have different schedules, or exploring nearby street parking options even though they're less convenient. Additionally, if financial constraints are making parking difficult, perhaps building management offers payment plans or reduced rates that you might not know about. Despite how frustrating parking situations are, I wanted to warn you that enforcement is coming so you can adjust before facing towing fees. I hope you understand I'm trying to help rather than create problems. Can we brainstorm some solutions that might work for your situation? Hello, Mr. Thompson. I need to report ongoing parking violations in our building that are creating safety hazards and frustrating many residents. First and foremost, I want to be clear that I'm bringing this to your attention because of legitimate safety concerns, rather than trying to create problems for any specific neighbor. Nevertheless, over the past several weeks, I've documented numerous instances where vehicles have been parked in ways that block emergency vehicle access to our building, which could prevent ambulances or fire trucks from responding effectively to life-threatening situations. Furthermore, multiple residents have mentioned these parking problems during building meetings and have expressed frustration that violations continue despite posted signage about parking regulations. Additionally, I have photographs with dates and times showing the pattern of violations, which demonstrate this is an ongoing issue rather than occasional mistakes. Although I understand that enforcing parking rules sometimes creates hardship for residents who are struggling with limited parking availability, we cannot prioritize individual convenience over safety regulations that exist to protect everyone in the building. Moreover, emergency vehicle access isn't just a minor rule violation. It's a critical safety issue where blocked access could literally determine whether someone survives a medical emergency or whether firefighters can prevent a small fire from becoming a catastrophic building fire. Consequently, I believe building management needs to enforce parking regulations consistently, including warning residents about violations and ultimately calling towing companies if problems persist after warnings. Despite understanding that towing creates financial burden, residents who consistently violate parking rules despite warnings are making a choice that prioritizes their convenience over community safety and other residents' well-being. Additionally, consistent enforcement actually benefits everyone by ensuring that parking rules are followed and that emergency services can always access our building. I'm providing this documentation to support whatever enforcement action you deem appropriate, including towing if necessary to ensure compliance with safety regulations. What steps will building management take to address these ongoing violations? Standardized testing should be eliminated from college admissions processes, as these tests reinforce inequality while providing minimal useful information about students' actual potential for academic success. First and foremost, standardized tests like the SAT and ACT correlate more strongly with family income and parental education than with intelligence or college readiness, essentially measuring socioeconomic advantage rather than academic merit. Furthermore, wealthy students can afford extensive test preparation courses, private tutoring, and multiple test attempts that significantly boost scores, while low-income students often take tests without preparation or take them only once due to registration costs, creating systematic advantages unrelated to ability. Additionally, research shows that high school grades are actually better predictors of college success than standardized test scores, as GPA reflects sustained effort, time management, and actual mastery of material rather than performance during a single high-pressure exam. Moreover, standardized tests contain cultural biases that disadvantage students from certain backgrounds, and the timed format particularly disadvantages students with learning differences or test anxiety, who might excel academically in other contexts. Although some argue that tests provide objective comparison across different high schools, this supposed objectivity is illusory given the massive preparation advantages available to privileged students. Consequently, eliminating standardized testing would encourage holistic admissions considering grades, extracurricular involvement, essays, recommendations, and demonstrated interests, factors that better reveal students' actual capabilities and potential contributions to campus communities. Additionally, many selective colleges have already moved to test optional policies and found that their admitted classes are more diverse and perform just as well academically as previous classes selected with test scores. Some worry that without tests, admissions become too subjective, but admissions committees are perfectly capable of evaluating applications holistically using multiple measures rather than relying on single test scores. Nevertheless, eliminating standardized testing should be part of broader admissions reforms including addressing legacy preferences, demonstrated interest requirements, and other policies that advantage privileged students. Therefore, removing standardized testing requirements would promote equity and access while improving admissions decisions by focusing on factors that actually predict college success rather than socioeconomic advantage. Catherine, I need your honest opinion about something absolutely stunning I just found at Prestige Jewelers. While helping Jessica select a gift for her boyfriend, I came across the most extraordinary watch that I think would be perfect for our 20th anniversary next month. This timepiece is designed to look like a miniature solar system, with the watch face featuring a deep midnight blue background scattered with tiny diamonds representing stars. What makes this truly spectacular is how the hour markers are replaced by miniature planets that actually rotate slowly around the dial throughout the day, following their real orbital patterns in a sped-up version. Furthermore, the second hand is designed as a tiny golden comet with a glittering tail that sweeps across the face, and the watch hands themselves are shaped like delicate telescope pointers with luminous tips. Not only is the bezel encrusted with precisely set sapphires and diamonds arranged in constellation patterns, but the back of the watch features a transparent crystal case that reveals the intricate mechanical movement inside. The jeweler mentioned it's a limited edition piece with only 25 created worldwide by a Swiss master craftsman who specializes in astronomical timepieces. Since the store has a strict no photography policy for their high-end designer collections to prevent counterfeiting, I couldn't capture any images. Given your lifelong fascination with astronomy and how we met at that planetarium 20 years ago, this solar system watch seems incredibly meaningful for our milestone anniversary. However, it's definitely a significant investment, so I wanted to discuss it with you first before making any decisions. What are your thoughts?